Hello and welcome to the third video. As promised, this was going to be now the hardest one to do. If you've watched the previous two tutorials, well, not tutorials but hacking videos, I don't know if you actually want to call it hacking videos, whatever you want to call it, you would have a basic idea of what we're actually looking for, how we actually go about this. So let's actually jump straight in. We're going to play lumberjack now. So first of all, always we can't press F12, so we're going to right click and just inspect, and then we're going to go to sources, going to open up the JavaScript over here. Here's the main function. Okay, it's unformatted. Let's format it just to start off with. Okay, so now we can start by searching for the score. So let's have a look. Do we get anything important? Share score. There's only 20 results, and it looks like that. If you watched the previous video, you would notice that this actually looks very similar to how the previous one was actually done. This was probably how the high score was actually rendered. Is that not correct? We also have the APIs which have the same endpoints, such as set score, get high scores, and if this actually looks very familiar to the previous video. So if we recall correctly, all we needed to do was change whatever variable was over here, because that was actually our score, because this looks exactly the same. Like, we have a for loop that's probably going to iterate through every item in the high score, and do we have a high score, yes or no. And so let's try it out. We put out a breakpoint. Okay, so let's hit it, and it hit the breakpoint, and our score was 4. Do we have it? Look at that. We have 4. So let's actually say CA is equal to what was our previous high score? 453. So let's make it 455 and continue the application, and our high score is now updated, 455. Now I'm sure I said that this was harder, right? Well, actually I lied. It's not harder. It's in fact the exact same as the previous video. But that would be incredibly boring if we want to do it that way. We don't want to just have every single game going to be the exact same way. So let's try see if we can get a high score in a different way. So instead of having the scores, let's actually see if we can find out what happens when, maybe if we can find out, like, if we can find anything else out, such as if we can bypass the collision detection, or if we can find out what the series is of the tree falling down, and maybe we can fake the sides that it's meant to go on using JavaScript in a for loop, like just grabbing the array. I'm guessing it would probably be the array or list. So let's actually find out, see how we can do that. So first of all, we want to have a look at, okay, no, we don't want to have a look at that. We want to have a look at this, where we see over here, okay, this is now the button. But what I don't like about Chrome is that we can't really see what we're actually looking for. So here on event list, it's kind of hard to find out, okay, which one, what event is actually listening to the button. Okay, it's probably going to be a click. So here's the button right. Okay, but what if I wanted the button left? Do we have a button left anywhere? We don't know. Maybe is it maybe the touch? Is it touch? No. Key down, mouse move. We don't know. And that's the annoying thing about Chrome. Although Chrome does have like its benefits, definitely, but let's actually try with Firefox, because Firefox always has very different ways of doing things. Not always better, but Sometimes it can be, such as in this case. We're going to press play and we are going to have a look at this. And this is one thing that I love about Firefox, is that it actually shows you what event is listening to these divs. So as you can see over here, this is playing the sound, and then it does some stuff that we don't know what. It's calling some kind of function. Then over here, this is very odd. So when you press right, then it only has this, whereas when we have left, it's doing a lot more. So I'm not too sure why they did it that way. I'm not even sure what it does, but I mean, it's very odd that they would do that. But if we have a look over here, we have let's focus on these. These are obviously something to do with what we need. So we have the double A and the CA not 1. And this side, it's going to be, there is no double A, but we do have the CA not 0. I don't know why they have it not 0, because then that just means 0 means false and not 0 means true. So this means true. The other one over here is not true, which is just false. They could have just swapped them around and not have the other checks, but it's interesting. It's interesting why they would do that. But let's just copy that over and immediately go to the application. I have no idea where I am. What am I looking for? Where's my memory, network, storage, DOM? I don't know if I'm just going crazy or if I can't actually find what I'm looking for. Okay, well, screw this then. I'm going to go to Chrome because this has it nicely laid out. Sources. So now we're going to have a look, see if we can find that CA not equal to 0. And here it is. We have two cases where it's actually called, but as you can see, this function has a lot more, whereas this function is clearly a replica of the button that's being called. So when CA is called, what exactly are we doing? Let's find out. Let's just have CA on its own. We have 5 cases, so this is more than enough to find out. So the first one actually defines what it is. This is very good. So this is going to be the one side, this is going to be the other side, and then this is just going to check, okay, which key we're pressing, and depending on which key we're pressing, then it's okay. So it's basically a replica of if we had to click or if we had to press a key. So that's unimportant. So let's actually see if we can find out what we want to do. See if this has anything useful. So what is AA? Let's actually find out. So as soon as we click, A is false. Okay, so that was just a side. AA is true. Not too sure. ZA is false. Now what is this stuff? We don't know. New date. Variable B undefined. DA. Oh wait. DA. Now this is interesting. What does this array do? 0 0 -1 -2 -1 -2 1 2 1 2 -1 -2. This almost looks like there's some kind of pattern, and we know that we're actually looking for a pattern. We also know that we're looking for an array or a list, and this is an array with a pattern. I'm wondering if this actually might have something to do with a tree. So let's continue this. I'm just gonna keep going and see if we can actually find where was that array. Okay, so it has changed, but now it's -2 -1 -2 1 2 1. Okay, let's see if we can actually try and figure out what this is actually meant to be. So -2, the next item in the array is going to be the branch on the left. -1, that is when we have nothing in between. -2, branch on the left again. 1, that's nothing. 2 branch on the right, and then 1, that's going to be nothing. So branch on the right again. So if our prediction is correct, or if our interpretation is correct, we should get another branch on the right hand side after that one. So we should get another branch on the right hand side and then one on the left. So let's try it. Oh, we actually missed out. Oh well, we went too late. So let's actually see if we can get this. Okay, so we should have the whoops. Okay, so there should be a 2 and then 1 or minus 1 and then minus 2. And actually we have a space in between here as well, so it should start with either 1 or a minus 1. And I'm guessing that's probably just like where the person is going to die if it's on one of those. So if we are correct, yep, there it is. 1, 2, minus 1, minus 2. So 2 looks like it has something to do with the right, minus 2 has something to do with the left. Okay, so now we actually have an idea, and variable. So now we have an idea of, we can actually interpret what is coming next. So B is going to be 1, so we know the next one is going to be a 1. Okay, and then we can actually have a look over here, whatever this function is trying to do. This looks like it's generating just a new random number. Okay, so let's see if DA is that covered anyway? We don't know. So something has to have our score. Let's see if we can find out where some of the stuff actually is called. So 3. Not too sure what this stuff is. VA. It's kind of just like a lot of complex stuff here. Not too sure what most of the stuff is doing, but we do know that this is actually what we want over here. So what we can do is, if we were to interpret this, we would want let's say let's have a document dot my object or my o equal to, and then we're going to have the let's have it equal to DA. So now we have that caught. Let's continue, and if we try it again, then let's see if we still have that. No. So we can't always have, we're not always pulling it in. So we need to find some way where we can actually just inject this. So if we have the DA0, let's see if there's anything else that has it. No, that's the only case where it is. In case you're wondering, I'm also not too sure if we are going to worry about spaces or not. That is why I didn't copy it, because in here, in the main function, it often doesn't include white spaces. But in this case it doesn't matter, because this is going to be the only case where this is actually available. So what we're going to do is we want to inject something to equal to DA. So we're going to have documents dot myo equals to DA. Okay, and now this is not going to be saved, and we don't want to have to interpret like where this is or anything. So let's just make it simple. Take this whole thing, copy it, and if we scroll right to the top, how was all this stuff started? Let's actually, oh yeah. So this variable is equal to some function or whatever. Let's stop it over here. As soon as that hits. Okay, wait, let's save it. I'm not sure what it's trying to do. Oh, okay, it's just trying to format it. I don't know why my computer is going so slow. Okay, so we're gonna stop it as soon as whatever this is happens. We would actually prefer to have it a little bit earlier. Like if we could have as soon as some function over here happens. So as soon as that happens, it's paused. So let's expand this out. And now we want to replace all of this because we don't know where the function is and we don't really care. And now we're going to save that, and then we are going to continue the execution. So do we have the document.myo? It's undefined. And if we play this, do we have it? It is defined. So now we have something to work with. So now we can actually have it. If it's a negative number, then we can have it press the one side. If it's a positive number, we can have it press the other side. So let's actually find out what was it. So the negatives we want it to press on the right, and whenever it's a positive we want it to press on the left. Okay, so now we can actually just write a little for loop. So for variable, let's have it equal, I don't know, in, no, let's actually have a proper name for it. For variable set score equal to, what are we going to have it equal to? Let's have a score of 466. Set score, oh wait, sorry, I think this is JavaScript. I'm not too sure if this is, okay, let's just keep it like that. If score is less than 466, then set score plus plus. Okay, so this is now going to iterate that many times. Now we can actually get if that what was it? If document.myo, and we want to get the current one, which is going to be 0. If that is, let's say, less than 0, then we wanted to have some, we wanted to press the one function. I can't remember which one it was now. Else we wanted to press the other function. So now we actually have the function set and ready, but now what are we actually going to call? So let us just copy this and save it just in case. Yeah, let me save this just in case we mess up. Okay, now if we want to actually get this function, we're not able to call that CA, are we? I think I don't know if we tried. Did we try? We possibly did, but I don't think it would have done anything because it looked like it was, yeah, it should be in a function, so it's not actually going to return anything. So we could do what we did just now and inject as well, or we can actually go a different way where we can actually have, well, I can't remember what was actually listening. Let's find out what was the object that was listening. Okay, so it's actually the div that contains, okay, div ID button right. Okay, so now we can actually try. Let's get rid of this for now. You might want to save this somewhere. So we are going to have documents.get element by ID, and we want it to be equal to let's have this bottom one, button right. So if the element is equal to button right, then we are gonna click it. Now let's see if this works, and it works. We can click it. So this actually gives us the perfect chance. So let's add in the previous function that we had, and let's add this new clicker in. I can't remember which one is going to be which, but let's just take a guess. We can always just change it, and I don't feel like actually thinking very hard. You guys probably like interpreted already, but the other one was going to be button left. So we want to have the other one going to be button right, button left. Okay, so let's see if this works. Document. What is document? I want sorry about that. Document. Okay, so it looks like we were wrong. So let's actually try it. Okay, so if it's a negative, we want it to press on the right, and if it's positive, we want it to press on the left. So let's swap these two around and copy that. Let's find out. Oh, look at that, it worked. So now we bypassed everything. So now we got the new score of 466. So let's check it again. If we want it to be 476, we got it. We managed to get 476. So it seems that we actually managed perfectly fine over here. But now I'm pretty sure that we would have actually hit a tree at some stage. Let's actually try this. See if we can actually find, if we just press this a ton of times, what is going to happen? Not all that much. Oh right, because we're actually reading that. So let's actually get rid of this if else, and now we're just going to press this like a ton of times. Yep, nope. We didn't manage to bypass the collision detection. The collision detection works pretty well in this game. So it looks like this is basically going to be our best way to get around this. So whatever score we want over here, it's going to be set in stone. Now we have 488, and that should be our new high score. If 488 it is. So I hope this was slightly more educational. I know this was going a lot more complex, but at least you get the idea of what we're actually trying to look for. And I hope this was more interesting than the original way that you were thinking about it, and this should also give you an idea of how to actually work with events such as this, and also how to actually access certain variables, like when it's already rendered, then we can't actually manipulate it, but we can actually change the code just before it's run. We can actually put a breakpoint in and then change whatever the hell we want, and then continue running it, and then it's gonna run the new script, which is going to be ours, which we can always find where the collision detection is actually happening, and we can just get rid of it. But it seems like we don't need to worry about that, because we managed to find this series first. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and enjoy your day further. Cheers. Over and out. Goodbye. See ya.